Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Satyajit Pattnaik and this is an end-to-end data analytics project on sales analysis. Many of you have requested me to come up with such end-to-end projects on my channel on multiple topics such as data analytics, data science, AI, generative AI. We already have so many projects on our channel and we are also coming up with a lot of projects. Coming up with project videos every week is a bit of a challenge because implementing a project takes time, recording, various other things are also involved, but I will try my best to come up with as much project videos as possible. In case you have a specific requirement on any projects such as an end-to-end data analytics project or a specific Power BI project, Tableau project, generative AI, data science, whatever you have in the space of data and AI, in case you want me to come up with such video, let me know in the comment section and I will definitely come up with that video. Now this is an end-to-end sales analysis project where we have followed the entire data analytics workflow, starting from data collection, business understanding, data cleaning, exploration of data, taking the insights from the EDA to building the Power BI dashboard and publishing the dashboard. So each and every step has been accomplished. I hope you will enjoy this video. In case you feel the pace of this video is a little bit slower, you can always increase the speed to 1.5x or whatever is feasible for you and enjoy this video. In case you have any feedbacks, any comments, anything you would like to say, let me know in the comment section. And one major thing is the codes and the dashboards, everything, all the files will be available to you at 100 likes and 50 comments. See you in the video. I hope you enjoyed. Hi, welcome to a new project series on regional sales analysis. Now this is a very comprehensive project on regional sales analysis. This project covers the entire data analytics workflow, starting from data collection to data cleaning, data transformation, and then doing some exploration of data, getting insights through Python using the concepts of EDA. We have done multiple types of analysis that includes univariate analysis, bivariate analysis, plotting some histograms, plotting some heat maps. Eventually, our motive of EDA is to get insights and eventually using those insights for the dashboarding part. And that's how the end-to-end data analytics workflow consists of. Right. Now talking about the data set, this is what the data set is. So when it comes to data collection, well, this data set is coming from a public platform. Well, we have a bunch of data sets already where we are working on different projects. So I don't remember exactly where this is coming from, but I'm assuming it to be like a public data coming from Kaggle. So if I talk about the data, you can see this data is a bit old, but if you want to make it look like it's a latest data, like a latest data analytics project, the only thing that you need to do is convert these order dates from 2014 to some latest days. Like if you look at this data is coming from 2014 till end of Feb of 2018. So if you want to make it look like a latest data, you just have to change it from 2014 to 2022 and go on, right? That's the only thing that you need to change. But talking about the data, you can see there are multiple sheets here. The first sheet is talking about sales orders. So each and every column will be explained during the EDA process, but a very high level overview is sales orders data set is basically including details such as order number, customer information, order date, channel, currency, various other things. Now if you focus on this part, which is the customer name index, now this is something like a primary key in this particular table, right? And sorry, not primary key, this is a foreign key. The primary key of this table is order number for sure, because every order is unique. Now, if you try to relate this with the customers, this is where the primary key of customer index coming into picture. So this primary key is basically used as a foreign key here. Going forward, we have data sets like regions, data sets like state regions, products, and 2017 budget. Moving on to the Power BI dashboard. Now this is going to be your final output of this project. Now this is from my side. We will be doing a quick walk through our Power BI dashboard on how we have created this dashboard, what KPIs did we use, what graphs did we use, etc, etc. In case you have a different design in your mind, you can always do that, because the most important part is analysis, which we will be doing in Python, and we will be taking those analysis outputs to create this Power BI dashboard, right? Now looking at this Power BI dashboard, we have created three major sections. One of them is executive overview and trends, where you will be able to see some time series graphs, which basically talks about your monthly revenue graph and the profit graph, and some order value spectrum and unit price versus profit margin. Apart from that, in case you have any more KPIs to show, either if you want to implement drill throughs, tooltips, or you want to extend this into another page, always feel free to do that, right? Because as part of this project, I'm going to show you a dashboard. I'm going to show you how to prepare this one. Your task is not to copy paste this project. Your task should be creating a better version of it, right? That's what the portfolio project is all about, right? Moving on to the next part, which is product and channel performance. Now this is how the graph will look like. And finally, we have some demographic and customer insights. Top 5 customers, bottom 5 customers, blah blah blah, profit margin, bottom 5 states by revenue, etc, etc. Now, as I told you, this is like a draft version that we have created. In case you are looking out for a better version, always take this project to the next level. If you want to do some fancy items like a side menu bar or like a home page to this website, you can always do that by clicking here and then just creating a simple background like this, and then you can have multiple buttons with showing a header like this is a regional sales summary account, summary dashboard with couple of buttons here for navigation. So creativity part, I will leave it to you. There are multiple ways to showcase your understanding on Power BI in your report, right? Some people choose the easier way, just using the graphical representation and whatever KPIs they are aware of. Some people take it to the next level by implementing things that they have studied, like tooltips, drill throughs, page navigations, etc, etc, right? So moving on to the next part, the agenda of this video or this project is going to be very simple. I'm going to talk about the problem statement, which I have briefly already talked about it, the approach, the data overview, project workflow, ADA, getting key insights and recommendations, and finally going for the dashboarding part. So the problem statement is very clear. This is nothing but a regional sales analysis dataset. Sales teams often lack a clear data-driven understanding of regional performance, making it difficult to identify growth opportunities and optimize resources. This project aims to analyze and visualize regional sales data to uncover trends, evaluate profitability, and support strategic decision making. Very theoretical, do not worry about it. Let's jump into the EDA section immediately. While doing EDA, I will be explaining you each and everything, and going forward we will be also doing multiple other things, right? So see you in the next video. Hi, welcome back. To certain extent, we already know the use case, the problem statement, which is very simple. We have a data set. We need to use our domain knowledge and do some sort of EDA. And then going forward, we will be doing the, eventually after EDA, we will be doing the dashboarding part, right? And that basically completes the entire data analytics workflow cycle. So on the screen, what you see is a high level project overflow, which basically starts from identifying the business objective, collecting the data, pre-processing, loading, EDA, and dashboarding. Let's move on to Miro board so that we can understand these topics little bit in depth, which I'm assuming you might already know, but let's try to touch base about these things before we jump into the project, right? So this is a very typical analytics workflow. You can see the heading is already given, data analytics workflow. Now, before we jump in, let me tell you that in data analytics, trust me, many people ask me about, sir, can you provide us end-to-end projects on data analytics? Before getting into this, let me just tell you very honestly that in the field of data analytics, there is no such concept of an end-to-end data analytics project, right? When you join a company as a data analyst, you will eventually realize that most of the things are mostly Excel based work. Sometimes you are given some dashboarding work, sometimes you are given some cleaning activities, sometimes you have to extract data from different sources, and sometimes you have to go for web scraping, right? So there is no such end-to-end project in data analytics. However, to get started getting with the jobs, we need to prepare some portfolio projects, right? So we need to create some projects from ourselves so that we can portray that or show that in our resume. That's it. In data science and AI, it's very simple. You work on machine learning, you pick some machine learning projects like classification or regression, and you solve them. When it comes to deep learning, you pick some projects like do some CNN classification, image classification, you solve it, done. That can be called as an end-to-end project. In generative AI, you have data, you are analyzing few things, and then you are creating a chatbot. That can be considered as a project. But data analytics is easy to study but difficult to work as a project, right? What are the skills that we have already studied in data analytics? Let me reiterate it once. Python, which is very much needed as a programming language. Without Python, you can still do some EDA in various other tools. So Python is not mandatory, but the acceptance of Python in the market is too much. So I always recommend people to learn Python, right? After Python, you have already studied EDA, you might have studied some statistical concepts, you might have studied some SQL concepts, you might have studied some MS Excel concepts, Power BI or Tableau, and some predictive analytics, right? So in this particular project, we will be using most of these applications or most of these tools. Python will be used for EDA. Of course, EDA concepts will be used. In bits and pieces, we will be using statistics concepts as well while doing EDA. SQL is not used in this particular project, but I will also tell you how to use SQL. In case you want to try it out, you can always try it out. Take this project video, first do it without SQL, and then just bombard the data into SQL database, connect SQL to Power BI, and voila, your SQL part will also be covered, right? Excel is not used because we are using Power BI, which is like a superior version of Excel, but I will also take it because the data set eventually is in Excel sheets and we are eventually using Excel, right? So most of the tools will be covered. Talking about data analytics workflow, the very first thing is business understanding. Always remember, this workflow never changes. It's constant. Wherever you go, whatever domain you work with, business understanding is very important. So right now, as we are working on a sales data, you can imagine maybe you are working for a company like Flipkart or Amazon or any e-commerce platform, and this is your sales data. Now data could be available, it could be anywhere, right? When you join a company, you might not get Excel sheets as your data source. You might get direct connection to your database. Let's say your company already has data warehouses. or let's say data lakes, whatever it is, or let's say a simple database, right? You can directly create a connection from this to Python using some extraction, using some libraries, or simply using PySpark or any other tools, and you will be able to do the EDA on Python level. Or else, if you directly have a data warehouse, which eventually is like a SQL database, you can directly do your EDA here, right? So nobody can stop you while doing this. But as we are not sure what type of database do we have in companies, because it depends, right? There can be a lot of combinations, and I cannot really talk about all those combinations. That's why I am showing you a flat file. Tomorrow when you join a company, you could eventually work with Snowflake database or MongoDB or whatever database you are working with. The very first thing is, first you need to understand the business, what problem are we solving, and then comes data understanding, right? In the data understanding part, you try to understand what your data sources are, what are the important data that you need to solve this particular problem, right? In this case, as we are doing a sales analysis, I will be starting with sales analysis, right? Now for sales analysis, what we need to do, we need to capture all the important data. And trust me, collection of data is by far the most important part that you will be doing when you join a company. That is something very, very difficult to explain, right? Right now, you are getting everything handy. I have already prepared the data. You are getting the data without putting any efforts. In real life, that's not the case. You have to create your own data. You have to find the right data for your analysis. And that is what data understanding is all about. Once you understand this, then comes data collection. So either you create connectors or directly use Excel sheets, and then comes data preparation or data cleaning. Now this eventually is nothing but, I will write it down something like this. I will do like this, because data cleaning and preparation and EDA is nothing but an iterative process. Okay, so this is where officially the data analytics work is complete. But after that, after your insights are ready, eventually you either build a dashboard, right? Or you pass these insights to your data science team for building some AI products, right? Now in most of the companies, people engage business analysts or BI analysts for this kind of work, and data scientists for this kind of work. Data analytics work is eventually this part. But again, as I told you, that different companies have different type of people. They might not have everybody for each and every role. So as a data analyst, you might have to do the entire work. We never know, right? So that's usually the analytics workflow. In this particular project, as we already have the data, we will be getting started with the data processing and cleaning and EDA on Python. And once we are done, we will take these insights and try to plot a dashboard. So this is what we are going to do using Python. And then we will take it and we will be doing this dashboard using Power BI. And that could be like your end-to-end portfolio project. So without wasting a lot of time, let me just show you the project workflow. This is what I explained you. Hi, welcome back. Before jumping into exploratory data analysis, it is very important for us to get into the data set and try to understand the relationship between the different types of data that you have. In this particular scenario, we are having just one Excel sheet with different sheets, right? But again, as I told you, that in real scenarios, there could be different databases from where you are getting your data from. Sales order might be coming from a different database, customers information might be from a different database, or same database, we don't know. What I'm trying to say is the very first thing, even before EDA, is to understand the entity relationship diagram. Very important topic. So let me just write it down. Entity relationship diagram. Now, what is entity relationship diagram? This is a very important concept when it comes to understanding the relationship between different columns within a database, right? Now, to generate a entity relationship diagram, of course you need to have a good understanding on the domain knowledge, right? If you don't have the domain expertise, it's your responsibility to talk to your managers in case you are stuck. But even if you have zero understanding on the domain, you can still be able to identify many things. So as we are talking about sales orders, right, there are multiple columns here: order number, order date. So what we can clearly see is the main attribute is going to be order number, right? So let me just tell you something about entity relationship. So entity relationship diagram is nothing but, it looks like this. If you go to the web and search for ER diagram, you will be able to get something like this, right? This basically tells you the relationship of your different type of data sets or different types of tables that you have, right? You can see baggage check, security check. So we are not doing exactly like this, but something similar. We will be trying to understand the relationship, right? So I'll be analyzing the data to identify entities, their attributes, and their relationships, right? So let's get started. So sales order, you can see in every orders, right? When a customer is doing an order, every order number is unique, right? So in this particular table, I can clearly see that my order number is nothing but the primary key. Okay, I'm just doing the all the primary keys using red. Apart from that, we have order date, customer name, blah blah blah, right? Now what can be our foreign keys? Let's try to identify that. I can see one of the columns which is customer name index, right? Warehouse code could be, I don't know, and delivery region index, product description index. Yeah, as they say indexes, we'll try to look at these connections in different databases, right? Let's try to go and check customer name index. From this one, is it connected to customers? Yes, it is connected to customers. Customers has this primary key which is customer index. So I will write it down as customer index is nothing but my primary key for customers table, and that's why the customer key is a foreign key in my sales order. Simple. What else? We were talking about warehouse code. Warehouse code, let's go ahead and see, do we have such kind of relationship with warehouse code? ID, there is some ID here which talks about different regions. Okay, this definitely could be the region index. So going back here, delivery region index, right? Region index. So this could be related to this ID. State code is related here, right? Now in this particular table, I think state code could be like an unique entity. So yes, state code is the primary key of state regions. State code could be the primary key of the state regions. Similarly, in the regions, there is ID. Now, this ID is nothing but the region index. So, delivery region index. So, you can write this as one of the primary keys in sales order table. Product description index. Product description index could be this one. So in the products table we have index. Let me just use red. Product table we have index, which basically is your product index, and that eventually is connected with very bad, and that itself is connected with the sales order, which is called as the product description index. Warehouse code is something which I have not got so far. These are all different products, and product name is connected with 2017 budgets using product code. Okay, so products is basically like a fact table. So products will have product, what is that, product name. I will not call it as a PK, but somehow it is related to the 2017 index product name, right? So these two are interrelated, right? So products table and 2017 budgets. What else? Warehouse code is something that we have not got so far. Let me try to search the regions. Warehouse code is still not available. So let me take one code for example, try to search it here. No, for sure it's not available here. I think warehouse code is something that is not available in any of these data, so I think I will just skip the warehouse code. Okay, and that's eventually my different type of attributes and the relationships, right? In the customer table we have customer index as my primary key, and the customer index is available in sales order as a foreign key. Similarly, in the regions we have ID, and then state regions we have state code and so on, right? So let's try to draw a simple diagram. So if I talk about a diagram, right, sales order is basically connected with customers, right? And it is also connected with regions, and it is also connected with state regions. Now this relationship not only helps us in doing our EDA, but also in Power BI. Whenever you are going to take this data set directly to Power BI, you will automatically be able to see the relationship. So you can validate your domain knowledge with what Power BI is doing. And in case Power BI has not done a good job when it comes to relationships, you can always build these relationships, right? So what else? And then we have product, that's also connected with sales, and then product is connected with the index. Sorry, what is that? The 2017 budgets. So that could be your ER diagram, and if you want to write down more, you can always write down. You can also leverage ChatGPT or Grok to build these kind of relationships or identify this kind of relationship, right? To further talk about the relationships, let me also tell you that order to customer is always a one-to-end relationship, right? Because one customer can have multiple orders. One customer can have order 1, order 90, order 420, and so on. So it's always a one-to-end relationship. Similarly, order to region is always going to be again one-to-end relationships. There can be multiple one order each order is delivered to one region code, right? So this can be like a one-to-one relationship. One region can be associated with multiple orders, right? I mean, not necessarily for a specific region only one order will be delivered, right? There can be multiple orders. So order, let me also do it here. Order with respect to region is always one to n to one, right? Other way around, one to n, right? Order to product is also like a one-to-one relationship. One product can be included in multiple orders, right? You can imagine you are not the only one buying a camera. There could be 1,000 people buying cameras. So one customer can have multiple orders. One order can have multiple products. Those products can be present in multiple orders. As simple as that. This is very, very basic thing. I don't have to repeat much. That's all about it. Let's jump into our EDA exercise. Let's get into EDA. So let me just rename this to Regional Sales Analysis. And let's get started with taking the data. The data should be here. I already have everything ready with me. I will directly take the data set. The problem statement is understood. We are analyzing a company's data. You can imagine any company as part of your portfolio project. You can mention any company, right? Let's call it ZEP Analytics, right? So ZEP Analytics, I mean, this is a fictional company. I'm just talking about, let's say, a Flipkart. I'm just writing down as 3 T's, which should not resemble as the original Flipkart. This is like a dummy company, right? Flipkart Regional Sales Analysis. Now, we have to onboard the Excel file. Why it's not getting onboarded? Let's try to reload this and then we should be able to onboard it. I'm using Google Colab for this exercise. In case you are using Jupyter Notebook or any other thing, it's completely up to you. There should not be a big problem. So regional sales data set, I will copy it and let's get started, right? The problem statement is clear. We have data from 2014 to 2018. Let me also write down few things before we get started. The problem statement is, let's say, XYZ companies 2014 to 2018 sales data to identify key revenue and profit drivers across products, channels, and regions. Uncover seasonal trends and outliers and align performance against budgets. Use these insights to optimize pricing, promotions, and market expansion for sustainable growth and reduced concentration risk. You can always take help from ChatGPT to generate such kind of fancy problem statements. I am not the one who has written down this very fancy problem statement, but this resonates with what we are doing, right? So it's fine. The objective is very clear. Our objective is, let me also write down the objective. The objective is very clear. Identify top performing products, channels, and regions driving revenue and profit. And then I think the objectives are already clear, so no need to write twice, right? So let's quickly jump ahead with the setup and the configuration. The very first thing is importing libraries. I'm going to import the libraries. Import pandas as PD. So the way you start your exams by writing Jai Ganesh, or depending on what whatever you do. I mean, I usually start my paper taking the name of God, and exactly the same thing. You have to use these 3 important libraries, which is like uh, it's like the very basic thing, right? So pandas, numpy, and matplotlib, blindly start importing them. Dot pyplot as plt. In bits and pieces I will also be using seaborn somewhere, because matplotlib, I personally don't like matplotlib. Some configuration that we would like to have is, okay, let's do, well, not required for Google Colab, but it's okay. Style white grid, and then plt.rc params. These are completely, you know, not mandatory, right? So do not worry about these configurations. Even if you don't do this, you will still be using the default configuration. Function object is not subscriptable. plt.rc params figure dot, anyways, I don't need it, it's okay. So importing the libraries and very get started with the um, getting the data set. So DAF is going to be, let's just call it as sheets. Okay, it's going to be pd.read excel. I will pass the folder, sorry, the file path, and then I'm going to do sheet name equals to none for now. Once we read the file, I'm going to rename individual sheets to, okay, let's just run this and see. And how does the sheets looks like? These are the different sheets. The sheet names are already here. So I'm going to assign different data frames, assign data frames to each sheet. So let's say my sales is nothing but sheets sales orders. My customers is nothing but sheets customers. The next one was products. What else? Sales orders, customers, products, regions, state regions. So let's say regions, sorry, regions and state region. Okay, and then lastly I'm going to take the budgets, 2017 budgets. Done. Run this, my data frame is ready, right? Now if you want to quickly look at all the data, you can always do like a quick head or like a quick shape if you want, dot shape, right? Similarly you can automate it to print all of them together if you want to, right? Df sales shape is, let's say shape is, okay, no, print df, something is wrong, oh my god. uh df sales, it should work, right? Oh my god, so I'm so bad with Python, it seems. You can automate this for all the different this thing, right? So let me just, right? Everything is good, and then close this. Sales, customers, okay, one thing, customers, products, customer products, done, right? These are the different records that we have. Fine, that's basically coming under your data profiling, or maybe you can call it as like initial inspection, and then quickly try to check the heads of all of these data frames that you have. That's going to be like 5-6 second work. Maybe you can just quickly do that. Sales.head, regions.head. This is like a quick look at your data, everything is good or not, right? And then what we can do is we can quickly get started with the next part. Customers, sales, regions, state regions. Okay, this is where the problem is. Okay, I had actually seen that, but I had ignored. Either you could have directly deleted from here in the Excel itself, but as this is not done, we'll have to treat it directly in Python, right? So let's say I'm going to give a new header. Let's say I'm going to give state registration ilog of 0, and then df state registration dot columns is equals to new header, and my df state registration is equals to df state registration reset reset index drop equals to true. State reg dot head, my bad, df underscore, okay. Head 5, this should solve the problem. al albana south. So we have not lost any records. I've just converted my second row as my header. That's it. Everything else looks good. Let me also have a quick look. Sales, customer, all good. Products, regions, products we have not done, right? df underscore products dot head looks fine, and then df underscore 2000 budget dot head. Okay, now everything looks good. Now let's try to do like a simple null value check. Initial look is ready. Okay. Similarly for others. Regions, there is no null values, and then budgets. Yeah, I think we should be okay. Now next part, I'm going to write it down as data cleaning and wrangling. Okay, so in the data cleaning and wrangling, what I'm going to do is, if you remember, we had done all of these entity relationships, right? So what we need to do right now is to create, basically merge some of these tables. I will be merging sales with customers, and then sales with state regions, and so on. Okay, left join, right join. Let's try to figure that out. So let's try to do the first activity. Let's say df is equals to df sales dot merge df customers. So we have sales and customers, and the relationship is based on customer index. Okay, sales and customers based on customer index. Customer index. Okay, customer index. Customers. Let's do it in the next line. df customers. How? Let's say I'm going to do a left join. Left on this column name, say customer name index, and then right on equals to customer index. Should work. Let me delete it. Okay, works. Order number and blah blah blah, and then you can see I have the customer name right now, right, from the customer index. Now if you want, you can delete the customer index, doesn't really matter, because with the sales and the other data sets, basically you can ignore the customers table right now, right, because the customer name is already a part of the new data frame that we have created, right? Now we need to create relationship with this, with regions and products and various other things. So let's go ahead, do the next step, merge with products. So let me write it down here that this is nothing but merge with customers, right? And similarly, I will copy this. I will write it down as merge with products. Now, products has ID and sales order has product description index, right? So df is equals to df dot merge df underscore products. How is equals to left, and left on, in my left we have the original df, which basically has product description index, and on your right you have this products table where you have just index. So I will delete them, and now I have the new data frame and I can have a look at it, and this is how where are my product details. Product name should be with me. Yeah, we have the product name, right? So this is not relevant now. Customers is not relevant. Maybe what I can do is I can make it as red and make it as red. Now these two are non-relevant for our case study right now because we have already merged. The next thing is merge with, I have copy pasted thing, merge with regions. Now if you talk about region, we have ID, and in the sales we have the delivery region index, right? So again we will be doing df with df regions. How is left, and this one is going to be delivery region index, and in the region we have ID. Done. And now my data frame looks like this. Initially I had whatever columns, now I have so many columns, right? Time zone and all those new columns coming from the regions table is also added. You can see water area, land area, everything is added. Now regions is also moved to a red color because not in use anymore, right? Now last we have is state index. State index is a little bit complicated because here we just ignore this column. We have state code, and here we have state code. Yes, state code is there. Do we have a state and region? State is also there. Okay, no, never mind, it's going to be on the state code. So I just want these two columns. Again, it's just going to be a copy paste with state regions. Now df equals to df dot merge df state region. Now here, let's say, I mean, I could have done it in the previous codes, but let's do it directly. We just need to take the state code, because state is already there in this one, right? State is already there. So what you need to do is either you rename it to state 1 and this as state 2, or else, as you already have state, you don't need the state, right? So I'm just ignoring the state and I'm just taking the state code and region. How left one is going to be our state code, my bad. And the right one is going to be state code. Okay, done. Now I have the last part, which is having 33 columns, and we have the state code and region, right? And okay, now let's try to do this thing. I'm going to show you this file.csv, like a temporary file. Okay, let's try to write it down and download this. There are some repetitive columns. Of course, everybody should be aware of it. Repetitive columns like customer name index and customer index, right? So we need to get rid of these kind of repetitive columns. So let's try to open this file and see and visualize and finalize which columns we need to get rid of. Customer name index and customer index. I mean, either one of them should go away. And then of course index, let's go line by line. Okay, this one, yeah. And then index with product description index. So let's just do one. Okay, let's say I'm going to get rid of this, and then product description index and index, either one of them. Let's get rid of this one. Let's get rid of customer index, because customer name index is already in the sales table, right? Let's not delete the original table. Let's delete these columns. We'll delete this one, and then coming on to the next one, which should be ID. Where is this ID? This one. And coming on to the last one should be state code. And state code. Let's keep the original one. Let's delete this one, right? Apart from that, do we have any repetitive columns? I don't think so. So let's try to copy this. Okay, so what we will do is clean up redundant columns. Calls to drop customer index, ID, state code. I think that's it. And then df equals to df dot drop columns equals to calls to drop, errors equals to ignore, and then df.head should be left out with, oh, there were 33 columns, right? Oh, 4 we have gotten rid of, and we have 29 columns. Finally, we have the final data frame ready, right? Now, just for our ease of doing everything, let's try to convert all of these column names to lowercase. I mean, just for ease of access, convert all columns to lowercase for consistency, right? And easier access. df.columns is going to be df.columns.string.lower. Very simple. And then df.columns.values, I should be able to get all the columns with lowercase, right? Now what we need to do is, now once we have this data, we need to get rid of those columns that we think is not needed, so that we can get rid of this, right? Order number do we need? Let's go here. Let's, in this one, let's say I am deleting this, deleting the columns, and let's say I want to, okay, let's say I'm making it dark, bold. So using domain knowledge, I want to also, so without using domain knowledge, we have deleted the columns that are redundant, right? Using domain knowledge also, you need to get rid of some columns that are actually not needed, right? So let's try to go through and understand. If we think it's needed, we will keep it. If we think it's not needed, we will remove it. But when it comes to actual work, you either go with your gut feeling, with your domain knowledge, or you ask your seniors, discuss with them before taking this step, right? So remember this step, which is very important. It's stuck. Okay, do we need order number? I think yes, order number is needed. Order date, of course, order date will be needed. Customer name index, do we need it? Because we already have the customer name, right? IDs are not needed, so I'm just marking it as red. Channel is needed. Channel is needed. Currency, I mean, let's try to see which currency it is. Everything is in USD, right? You can get rid of it because unnecessarily so much of data, right? You can directly hard code it in case you want to show it in like a visual in Power BI or something. Just use one keyword, that's it. There is no need of taking this entire data, right? So I'm marking it as red. Warehouse code, I have not got any kind of resemblance with respect to warehouse code with any other sheet, so I don't know. Let's keep it. Delivery region index, definitely I need to get rid of it. Channel is needed. Product name is needed. Customer name is needed. Product name is needed. Let's go ahead and see what are definitely needed, right? Product description ID, order description ID, I don't think these are needed, but we'll come back to this one. Order quantity, definitely it's needed. Unit price, yes, needed. Line total, yes, needed. Total unit cost, yes, needed. State code, customer, oh, customer name, what is this? And what is this? Customer names are this. And what is name? Oh, name. These are region names, right? Okay. Region names. Region names do we need? Country. Region is needed. Time zone, I don't think it is needed. And then, okay, country. I'm getting confused. Wait. Order number, order, date, channel, customer name, product name. Where is the product name? Product name, yes. Order quantity, unit price, these four, yes. Um, State code is needed. Then we definitely need state. We need city. This I don't think type is needed. Region is needed. I have already taken into consideration. Latitude, longitude. Yeah, if we want to showcase some kind of a map representation on our data set, on our dashboard, of course, latitude, longitude is needed. Population, do we really think population is needed? I don't think so. When we are doing sales analysis, area code, population, median income should be needed. Land area, water area. I don't think these things are needed. So let's try to keep it separately. I'm just going to take the yellow ones. So let's try to keep calls to keep. Before that, let me also keep the important columns and delete the columns that we don't need, right? So calls to keep, let's write it down line by, column by column. So let's say I want to use order number. We already have this here, order number and then order date for sure. Customer name is needed. Where is customer name? Customer names, right? Customer names. Then we have channel. Then we have product name. Then we have order quantity. In a row, everything near order quantity, unit price, line total unit cost. Customer name is already noted down. State code, yes. Country is needed. Country. It's not country, sorry, county. Yeah, if you want to keep, we can keep it, no issues. County, because county wise analysis also you can do, or county wise KPIs can also be done. So yeah, nothing to worry about if you keep county. State code and then state, region, latitude, longitude, type I don't want, area code I don't want, area code is a strict no. Population, how population has to do with sales, right? It could be, if you want to figure out the percentage of sales for this particular county. Oh, okay, for now I'm not keeping it. Household, these things I'm not keeping it. Latitude, longitude, and then um, okay. Yeah, one thing we have not done is, my bad, after merging the state regions, we have not merged for the 2017 budget, right? We need to do that as well. So let me go back and do merge with the budgets, df underscore budgets, and then how is equals to left, and the budget had product name, and sales order also has a product name. Sorry, here product name, so I think it's going to be the same thing. So there is no left on, right on, there is directly on product name. Oh, I think I have to rerun everything, which is fine. Will take like 2 minutes to rerun everything. So we have this, we have this, we have this. Run, 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 run. Yeah, so 2017 budgets is also needed, right? These are the columns that I want to keep, and I have already written down these are the columns that I need. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to display only those columns that we need, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do df is nothing but df of calls to keep. So that will basically budget is not an index. 1 second, df, yes, df 2017 budgets, my bad, and then df is ready, and then df dot head, all good. Now if you want to do some more activities, like you want to make like developer friendly, people usually do order underscore number, order underscore date. Those things are not needed for now. I think we are good. The data frame is finally ready. If you look at the data frame, we have order number, order date, and various other things till 2017 budgets. So we will be sticking to this data for our analysis, and if you want in the future that some of these columns should also be a part of it, feel free to add it down, because in this project we are just showing you our thought process. There is nothing right or nothing wrong in this. This could also be important, I don't mind, but what I feel is they are not important. But in real life we usually discuss these things with our company, with our senior folks, and try to take a call, right? Now the next step is df dot head. We already have budget, 2017 budget. Now what I can also see is, as the budget table is basically having the data only for 2017, right? So 2017, my product level budgets are these. I don't have any other information about 2014, 15, 16, and also 18, right? So but while we have done the left join, if you remember, we have done left join, and in this left join we have done a join on the product name, right? So if that product name is a part of 2014 data, eventually the 2014 data's this column will also come something, right? So this is a wrong thing. So we need to mark all of these non 2017 records to be null, right? Blank out budgets for non 2017 orders. I hope it is understood. So what I'm going to do is df of order date. This is a bit difficult. dt dot year. Let's say the year is df dot lock df of order dot dt dot order dt dot year not equals to 2017. I'm going to rename it to pd dot na. df of order date product name um, and line total. So line total is basically your revenue. Okay, so make sure you remember that line total is nothing but is revenue. Okay, if you want to rename it to revenue, all well and good. In case you don't want, it's also fine, right? And then 2017 budget. So basically this thing I need to rename them to budgets. We cannot work with 2017 budget, right? So let's try to do this. Before this, let's try to rename the columns. df dot df equals df dot rename columns equals to, before that let me do 1 so that I can see the columns as well. Okay, let's rename everything. Order number to order number, order date to order date, customer names to customer name. Sorry, I'm giving single quotes. Channel is channel, product name is product underscore name, order quantity is, feel free to skip this part if you want to directly jump into the next part. I'm just taking a bit more time than expected. That is why sometimes I usually don't go for EDA lectures in depth, because it's maybe for people who are complete beginners into EDA, they will be able to like it, but for people who are already aware of few things, they might get bored, right? Why is repeating all these things again and again? But because of my repetitions, only people might have already understood these topics, right? So state code, county, region, and this one, only this one, state code is going to be state. State is going to be state name, not required actually. Latitude, let's shorten this, lat. Long, and 2017 budget. This should work, and then I'll quickly do a head. Yeah, new column is ready, right? Now I can directly use order date and change it to this, and instead of this I can do budget, and here order date, product name, We have revenue, and we have budget. That's it. And then let's say I'm going to just do a head. Yep, my budget is ready. Let's say I'm doing a tail operation. I think we are good. I think it's good. 2018 also, it's not visible, right? Let's say I'm just going to do for the entire data frame. Do we see anything with 2017? I can do a quick check to CSV, final.csv. I just want to do a quick check, that's it, right? And final.csv, I'm downloading it and open this. Budget is empty for most of the records except 2017, right? Well, this is eventually my final dataset. The dataset is ready for the EDA process. So removing this part, till now all good. Let's move on to the next part. So we'll do a quick info on this one. Order number, order date, most of them are not null, we have already seen, except budget, which yes, some of these records are null just because they are not available, right? We just have budgets for 2017. So let's try to filter the data set to include only records from year 2017. So let's say I'm just creating a new data frame, df 2017, with df.df order date dot dt dot year equals to 2017. That's it. And then okay, so my df 2017 is ready. Look at this, it's a beautiful data frame of 2017 records, right? Now I think most of my task is done, especially in the cleaning part. Our next task is going to be exploration of data, going back to the data analytics workflow that we had discussed. If you remember that after the business understanding and data understanding, we talked about data collection and data cleaning. So business understanding is ready, everybody understands. Data understanding also everybody understands. Data collection also, we know what data are we dealing with. This part is also done. So till now we are here, right? Our next part is to go ahead and do the EDA. I'm assuming that we don't have to come back, but as I told you, there can be a scenario where I have to come back and do the cleaning once again. So till now we are till here. Next video we shall be jumping into the, maybe we can do some little bit of feature engineering and then do some EDA, like plot some dashboards and see what our insights are. Let's move on to the exploratory data analysis. Now before we move on to the exploration of data, what we need to also do is a little bit of feature engineering. I will call it as feature engineering because we will be creating some features or we will be tweaking some features. Only if you do these kind of steps, you call it as feature engineering. It's a very technical term for data science and AI projects, especially because in feature engineering we either create feature or we tweak an existing feature. Now for an example, let's say there is a column A and column B and you want to create a new column based on column A and column B. That's feature engineering. Or else applying principal component analysis or any other statistical concept where you are introducing new features. That is where feature engineering is called, right? So in this case, why do we need feature engineering? Let me just quickly show you the data once again and then I will explain you why. So if you look at this part, revenue, right? Let's try to open the data set as well. So if you look at the sales orders, there are few. So revenue comes from, everybody knows revenue is coming from, we have already treated revenue, right? If you go back, revenue is your line total, right? So if you, this one is your revenue and this one is your total unit cost, right? um so for this unit, this is the revenue. So I'm logically thinking that the profit will be this minus this, right? Revenue minus total unit cost. Now this is something that usually, if we are confused in any kind of these kind of statements, we usually go to our seniors in company, right? But as this is a practice project, what we will do is we'll take help of Grok or ChatGPT, and then we will ask. We are doing a sales analysis and we have a sheet called orders summary. Was this a sales order? Called sales orders, and here are the columns. Can you tell me what is revenue and what is profit? Sorry, what is revenue and what is total cost, and how to calculate profit in Pandas Python? Let's see what Grok tells me. Revenue is the total income generated from sales, typically calculated as sum of the total line total column, right? Which represents the total sales amount for each order line, likely calculated as this cross this for each row. Order quantity cross unit price. So let's try to do this cross this is basically, yeah, that's what my line total is, which is correct, right? That's my revenue. My total cost is basically, this is the total cost incurred to produce or procure the solder, calculated as the sum of the products of order quantity multiplied with total unit cost. Order quantity multiplied with total unit cost. That's basically my profit. Sorry, that's basically my total cost. So yeah, I mean, we have got the answer, right? So revenue is this and total cost is basically this. So let's try to use this. I'm going to create this new total cost. Let me write it down as total underscore cost in our style, and then that's basically my quantity. Where is my quantity? Order quantity multiplied with total unit cost. Total unit cost, right? So now, sorry, my bad. And then that's basically my total cost. And anything else? I think that's it. Total cost. And then once my total cost is calculated, what I'm going to do is df profit is nothing but df revenue minus df total cost. After that, I'm also going to create a profit margin percentage, right? That's going to be df of profit divided by df of revenue multiplied with 100, and then I'm going to do a df of head, and then I should be able to get the margin percentage. Okay, so total cost is here, my total revenue is here, and my profit is here. All good. Now we have some new features. Then move ahead with the next step, which is exploratory. Just write it down as EDA, right? So EDA. So now we have data, right? How do we proceed with the EDA part? We have order number, order date. So let's try to do some initial analysis, because the way you do EDA depends on what type of data you have, right? Now in this case, as there is no target variable, right, I'm going to also explain you what a target variable is, and then only we will be moving ahead with the EDA part, right? You might have seen my other videos where we have taken target variables into account. So when it comes to target variables, our way of analysis is completely different than when we don't have a target variable, right? So let me open this and then I will explain you what a target variable is, and then I will move ahead with this particular use case EDA. So it will be able to help you to understand the differences in the style, right? Now target variable means, let's say you're talking about churn analysis, right? Everybody knows about churn analysis. That means every company has some customers churning out, right? And as a data analyst, you need to analyze the churn rate. Let's say today's churn rate is 28%. As a data analyst, you need to identify why and who and what's happening, right? Now in that, basically you already have a column, sorry, very bad. In this data, you already have a column that basically talks about whether this customer is churned or not churned, churned or not churned. This basically is called as a target variable, right? So if you have to move ahead with a model building, like a predictive AI model building, in that case, rest all the features will be treated as your X, and this feature, which basically has this churn yes or no, will be treated as Y. And then you will be dividing the data into X and Y, and divide the data into training and test, and you will be able to create a model, right? So here our analysis should be with respect to Y. How does each feature impacts, right? For example, in X there is a column called as gender. So first what we will do is, on the total records, let's say 10,000 records, you will potentially be doing let's say, okay, male and female are around 6k and 4k. Now how many males are with respect to this column? So how many of them are churned? Let's say the churn rate is 28%, right? So out of 10,000, Y is around 2800. So out of this 2800, how does the distribution looks like? Oh, male are, let's say, around 1000, and female are around 1800, right? Now that's a clear information inside, right? How many percentage of the female are churning? 1800 divided by 4000 multiplied with 100, around 45%, which is way above than this, right? So this is completely different. You have a target variable, so your way of analysis is completely different. In this case, in our case, there is no such target variable. So how do we proceed? Let's try to see that. Moving on, as we are doing a sales analysis, let's try to first do a monthly sales trend over time, right? So the goal is to track revenue trends over time to kind of detect seasonality or sales spikes. Seasonality basically means if you have like you're analyzing the sales data, let's say over the period of, let's say, 10 years, and your sales, let's say this is how your graph is, right? Now you can see there is a spike after equal intervals, right? That is basically called as seasonality. That means every year, this 3 months window, your sales are going high. Apart from seasonality, we also see a trend here, right? There is an increase in the sales. So this is something related to time series analysis. So we will be doing a monthly sales trend over time, right? So let's create a new column. Let's say order month is going to be order date dot dt dot to period. I'm creating a new order month, and then I'm going to do a monthly sales column is equals to group by order month revenue dot sum. So I will be creating a figure. Let's say fig size equals to 15 cross 4 because it's a line chart, so it has to be like more in width. Monthly sales dot plot markers equals to O, color equals to, let's say, navy blue, and then from matplotlib dot ticker import func formatter. So formatter equals to func formatter matplotlib dot lambda function x position. So this is something I'm actually typing it from a code that I have already pre-written. Now in your case, do not worry about it. What we are doing is we are plotting a time series graph, right? It's basically a line chart. You can take your current data frame and you can always go to Grok, and we will try to take help of Grok and plot it as well, so that you all can see without any hassle how do we create. So you don't have to memorize these codes, so don't worry about it. Monthly sales trend. Nowadays we have AI who can help us, right? So no need to get worried with Python coding. Nobody asks Python related questions in interviews. I mean, very few. Some of the companies, they have this crazy trend of asking Python questions, but most of the companies don't ask. I mean, I know Python, I can write codes from scratch, but of course I cannot write these type of codes from scratch. It's little bit difficult. It's failing. Line 2D set got keyword. Okay. Monthly sales dot plot marker. Actually, it's a marker, and then everything is good. Now you can see there is still a problem. No module named matplotlib.ticker. Matplotlib is ticket, not ticket. It's ticker. Okay, my bad. See, everything is good. Now, what we have written down here is nothing but like a monthly sales trend, right? Now, if you want to generate it from ChatGPT, what you can do is just copy these column names. I have a data frame df with columns these, right? I want to create a monthly sales line chart. Can you write the code for it? By the way, order date is in. We need to also give information about which format the order date is in, right? So that ChatGPT or Grok understands is in this format. Okay, let's see. So it is writing down a huge bunch of code, and you can see it's almost the same thing. No, it's not the same thing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this bit part. So in a separate, see, even a better line chart than what we built, right? So this is how you can take help from your Grok or ChatGPT to generate these kind of graphs. Okay, so nothing to worry about. So we have done this, right? It has created a order date and then a year month, which we have also created order month, and then yeah, it's done the same thing, right? Monthly sales has done group by with respect to your new column with revenue.sum that's the same thing, right? Now let's try to look at this graph. I'll try to take this graph. So this is how my graph looks like, right? What do we see here? Take some time, pause this video, try to answer it. Now if we look closely, right? So the first insight, I would not say insight, but like mostly most of the cells, right, is coming in this bracket, right? Unless these could be these as well. These could be treated as your outliers, right? They are just like 4 or 5 different data points that are beyond the range of what I wrote, right? Maybe around, let's say if I consider this one, let's say 23 to 26, right? 23 to 26 million. So the sales consistently cycles between 23 to 26 million. With there are some spikes, right? Spikes are in the range in the month of, it's not properly visible. Let's say you can see one of the spike is around January, and you can see there is, these spikes are also around January, February. These spikes are around January. So you can see there is a downward spike around January, and the upward spikes are around October 7th, which is July. Now there is no such trend when it comes to the upward spikes. The lower spikes are around most likely January, December, something like that, right? So maybe the sales is going down during that period. We don't know, right? So and this one is a sharp drop, right? This is like a very clear outlier that we have got, right? Now we can do an analysis around this particular point, but I think it's not needed. This is completely fine. Now moving on to the next part, which is monthly sales trend. We can do like all years combined, right? So let's say order month. We will be sending you a detailed EDA notebook, so in case you are confused, everything will be written in that document, in that Python notebook, so don't get worried about it. So you can just follow and you will be able to get everything. Month number is equals to EDF order date dt month. Monthly sales df group by order month number, order month name. Anything else? And then with this I will be doing the revenue dot sum, and yeah, this one is a good thing, which is reset index, right? So dot reset, not reset index, let's try to sort it out. Sort index. This is done. plt dot figure fig size equals to, let's say, same 15.4, and plt dot plot okay, I mean, let's try to take help of grok. Apart from this, I want uh, I want to have an overall monthly sales trend for all years combined. The idea is to highlight overall seasonality by aggregating sales across all years for each calendar month. Can you plot a graph for that and write the Python code? Let's try to take help of ChatGPT. You just have to, combine with respect to all the months. Okay, it has given a complete different code. Okay, let's try to run this. I will skip those import statements not needed and then run this. Yeah, this is exactly what I wanted. Yeah. So if we take this to our Miro board, now what do we see here? Like, again, pause this video, try to do a closer look. The revenue is overall monthly sales revenue, right? Okay, so if you look at the previous graph, I was telling you that there are some spikes around January, right? Even if there are some spikes around January, still January is the lead revenue. Like, one second. This is January, 15 January. January 16th. Okay. Now, when I combined it, January here also, it's bit on the lower side. 14, 15, 16, 17. Year month revenue. Year month. Okay. Year month revenue. I mean, yeah, I mean, the final output here. Let me just cross check this code. Okay, order date, and then yeah, this is fine. I'm taking the month, grouping by the month with the revenue. Okay, month order. Yeah, I mean, the only thing I'm little bit worried about is here, if we look at every year's January, there is a like downward spike, right? The revenue is less. And if we look at this one, it seems January has the highest. Okay, that could be possible. It's a bit off, but yeah, that's what the graph is telling, and the code also looks fine to me. we can ask this question to GPT. The previous let's see what GPT has to say, or Grok has to say. The discrepancy between the year and month chart showing January with the downward and the seasonal monthly trend chart showing January is the highest can indeed seem surprising, but it's likely explained by how the data is aggregated and the nature of your sales pattern. So yeah, I mean, this is what I was thinking, because it's eventually an aggregated data, uh, but that's what it is. Like, if January is the highest, yeah, got it. The year month chart plots revenue for each specific month year. Yeah, that's fine. A downward spike in January for each year suggests that January typically has lower compared to the other months within the same year. This could be due to seasonal factors like post holiday. Seasonal monthly trend chart. This chart aggregates the revenue for each calendar month across all years. Example, all Januaries combined. Yeah, that's understood. If January appears as the highest month, means the total revenue for all Januaries combined is higher than other months' totals. This could happen if data spans multiple years and January's total revenue is boosted. What about 2018? 2018 January also there is a decline, right? 2017 January also there is a decline. Now let me open this. Revenue, right? Revenue is this one. Let's try to check our own CSV file. Okay, it's getting opened, and here we go. We have it opened. We have the revenue. Let's say I have the order month, and then I have the revenue. Where is revenue? Revenue, revenue, I and U, right? So I'm going to hide everything except hide, hide, hide. Okay, now let's say I'm going to just plot based on these two. So what we can do is, I'm just getting a bit confused. What I can do is I will try to select all of these order month. So January 2014, the total sum is 250. Sometimes you have to always do manual things, right? That's basically my Jan 2014. Let's do it for Feb. Feb is 23, so it's less than Jan, right? March is 23, less than Jan. April is 2485, less than Jan. 25, yeah, so May is higher than Jan. but let's go to May 2015, which is 2499, and January 2015, which is, it's higher, right? So this is the reason why January is highest for sure. Now that basically means that this graph, which is printed by ChatGPT, like not ChatGPT, Grok, it is having some problem, and I suspect this part, right? You can see if I take this and bring it here, right? I will show you the problem. This could be a problem. You can see that the first one has no labels, right? So it, this first label is basically January, and this last label is basically this February. That basically means January is here, and then just take one step back. Okay, January must be here, which is here. January must be here, which is here. January must be here, which is here, and January must be here, which is here. And now if you take a average out of it, maybe, yeah, it's high, because you can see, apart from this, I think all of the things are really better. And if you compare this with, let's say, any random month, let's say May, right? So May could be like this one, right? May could be this one. May could be this one. May could be this one. Oh, this is really high. Okay, and the reason why January is high is because of these 2 months also, right? So either we get rid of these 2 months and then do like a monthly analysis. Yeah, that's the only reason. That's the reason. You can see every year's comparison between January and May, except this year May is higher, but still January comes as the highest. That's just because of these two records, which is 2018 January and 2018 February, right? So that is the only reason why you have January as the highest. And so that's the reason why we should not consider this graph. So what I can do here is, I will ask ChatGPT, I have some records from 2018 01 and 2018 02, right? That's correct. We need to remove them from the data frame, write the code for it. So I just need to filter like df equals to df of the order date dot dt dot year equals to not equals to 2018, right? That is something that we need to do. This can also work. It's just doing the other way around, which is also fine. Now let's try to do this and then do this exercise. I'm going to create a order date. Okay, that's fine. And then df, let's say I'm going to give df underscore new is equals to this, print df underscore new order date. There is no need of printing it, and directly I will use the new data frame, and then I will print this. Yeah, looks good to me. Done. See, things have changed. Now May is the highest overall month sales all years. So very cunningly, there were 2 more months, 2018 January, 2018 February, because of which the entire game was changing. So we have to get rid of this, and that could also be the case here as well, right? So we should not take and this graph also, right, I already explained you, this is like you need to shift one x-axis to the left side, right? So keep that in mind. Now so my insight here is very simple. My insight here is May is the highest revenue, around 1.02 million, or you can, sorry, 1.02 into 10 to the power of 8, right? So around 100 to, I think 100 to million, right? 1.02 into 10 to the power of 8, how much is this? Should be 102 into 10 to the power of 6, right? So 102 million. So that's my insight. May has the highest revenue, followed by April, followed by this one, which is August, that followed by March. So, and the lowest is coming between around April and June and July, right? And February as well. So very, there is no such pattern, I would say, or the pattern could be every 2 months the sales goes down, right? Something like that. So if I have to analyze this, so we have February, and then next to next month April, next to next month June, next, and then this together happened, and next to next month this. I mean, that's just my speculation, but overall there is no such impact. Similarly, what we can do is we can also find the top 10 products by revenue. Let's say, how do we find top 10 products by revenue? Let's again take help of ChatGPT. I want to have a graph bar chart for top 10 products by revenue. Can you write the code? It's not able to show, but we'll take the help of the code that has been written down, and then I will just copy this, and fine, no issues. So here I'm going to use again the new data frame, df new, and then everything looks fine to me, and then I will run this. Right? Did he not create? Can you plot a bar chart for this? I think it's taking the help of JS. Plot write a Python code to plot the bar chart using 𝐶bond, right? Let's say we will explicitly tell to do it using 𝐶bond. So this is the code. I'm just going to run this. df underscore new, group by, everything is good. And then we'll run this piece of code. Great. Now we have product 26 as the highest paid product, right? Product 26 and product 25, they just pull away at around how much? If we also need the labels, you can also tweak that code. I also want labels on each bar, so it will just tweak the code a little bit and it will give you the final code. So now we have this final code. I just copy this, df underscore new, anything else, df data. Yeah, I think everything is good, and then we will run this, and you can see we have removed the January and February 2018, right? I'm doing it on df new. If you want to do it on the older data frame, you can always do. And you can see product 26 and 25 are having the highest sales, highest revenue of 118 million and 110 million, with a sharp drop to 78 million for product number 13, and like a tight mid pack around 75 to around 67. And then yeah, the bottom 4 cluster basically are at, I mean, this is not the bottom 4 for sure, because there are more and more products that can be visible. We are just showing the top 10. If we also need to do like a bottom 10, that can also be done, right? Just simply tweak this to ascending equals to true, and then let's just keep it. Product 21. I mean, this is a wrong way of interpretation. What I'll do is, can you also do a similar code for showing the bottom 10 products? And then it will just tweak the code and it will give you the final code, and you should be able to see the final graph. It has done the same thing what I did, but let's copy this and show you. Same thing, right? Product 24 is the lowest, and then comes product 9, and then somehow like this. Similarly, if we want to do some other insights like top 10 products by average profit margin, something like that, you can always do that. Now let's try to go ahead and do a very simple sales by channel pie chart, right? I will write it down as sales by channel pie chart. So let's say channel sales equals to df.group by channel revenue and sum dot sort values ascending equals to true. And then let's say I'm going to do a plot figure size equals to, let's say I will do like a 5x5, and then I will do plot pie, and inside the pie I will plan to take the sales values, labels equals to chan sales index, auto PCT, you can keep the default values, nothing to worry about, but I just want to print the something dot something something decimals. That's why I have done this. Nothing else is needed. Color, seaborn color palette, let's say cool warm, and that's it. And then I will just give a title to it, total sales by channel, and tight layout, and that's it. plt.show, and our graph should be ready. Fig size, plt.figure fig size equals to, you can see that I have wholesale as my top percentage, then we have distributor, then we have export. So these are the top 3 sales channel. So if you look at your data, how many channels did we had? We also had 3 channels, right? Sales, distributor, and export, right? Similarly, if you want to do it with any other column, you have the code, you can do that, but I don't think there is any other column where you can do a revenue analysis apart from channel, because currency code it's just one, right? So it will be 100%. That's it. So this is also a good insight wholesale accounts for around 54% of the sales, with distributor at 31%, exports at around 15%. And then what we can also do is average order value distribution can also be done. Let's say we will do like an average order value. See, all these things, what needs to be done, you can always take help of ChatGPT, provide them the data set, not the entire data set, just like one record or just the columns, give them some context. This is what we are doing. Come up with some KPIs that we need to print as part of EDA, and you will be able to get everything in a very crystal clear manner in ChatGPT, right? So let's say A of V is nothing but my df.group by order number with respect to revenue. So everything is with respect to revenue. plt.figure fig size, let's say 12 cross 4, and then I'm doing a histogram with respect to AOV. Let's say I'm doing a 50 bins. Color, let's say give let's say navy color is fine, and then edge color, let's say I'm giving a black edge so that it is visible properly. Title, let's say distribution of AOV or average order value, and plt.x label order value in USD, plt.y label, which should be number of orders, plt.tight layout, basically for clipping, to prevent clipping, plt show. Done, and my histogram should be ready. Wow, if you want to do like a little bit lighter color, sky blue should work. Sky blue. Now if you look at this graph, let me take it to here. So of course this graph is not normally distributed. You can see there is a huge skewness here, right? Now the order value distribution is, which type of skewness is this? Is it right or left? Maybe you can pause the video, try to answer this. This is right skewed, right? Now if you have something like this, that is basically left skewed. This is right skewed, right? So this is heavily right skewed, with most orders clustering between, you can consider this as 20 to around this bucket, right? 20 to around 100k, and the maximum is around this, right? Around 50 to 60 k, right? Now a long tail of basically high value transactions extend up to around 500k, 400 to 500k, very long tail. But these large orders represent only a small share of total volume, right? Most of your things are here, right? Similar to this, we can also do some other types of analysis like profit margin versus unit price. Let's try to also do that. We can also do unit price distribution per product and various other things. Let's try to get into the next part. So far we have already done quite a good amount of analysis. Top 10 products by revenue, monthly revenue trend. We have also done channels, specific sales distribution, average order value distribution. Let's go ahead. What else can be done? So let's try to figure out what can we do next, right? There can be hundreds of things that can be done. I would not like to use this video to do each and everything, but I will be able to do as much as I can, and I want to restrict each project video to a certain length as well. It cannot be like a 10 hours video on just one project, right? So we will be doing a unit price distribution, and after that let's try to do like we also have states, right? Let's also have, we have state. Yeah, state is also there. Let's try to do a state, like a top 10 states by revenue and order count. That can be also done. And what else? Have channel wise revenue we have done, right? Channel wise profit can also be done, right? Average profit margin by channel, that can be done. And various things. What else do we have? Customer name, we have customer name specific revenue also can be done, like who are the top 10 customers by revenue, that can be done as well. So like top 10 customers, let's say top and bottom, right? Bottom 10 customers by revenue, that can be done. And customer segmentation can also be done. Revenue versus profit margin, that can be done. Margin. And what else? Of course, we can also do a correlation heat map kind of a thing with the entire data frame and how the heat map this thing looks like. And there could be many more other things. Let's try to keep it till this one. Okay, so what we can do is we can leverage Grok to do these kind of things. Let's say I want to do unit price distribution per product in Seaborn, write the Python code. So let's try to take help of Grok. Unit price distribution to create a visualization using your data frame, including product name and unit price. This is how the code looks like. I will be taking this code and then I will be doing this. That is basically my unit price distribution per product, right? Product 26, product 1, product 25, various things are also mentioned here. Similar to this, we can go for the top 10 states by revenue. Let me write down the code for this one, top 10 states for revenue, or we can directly take ChatGPT's help as well. Can you do a plot for this? Now, similar to this, you can actually do the plotting for each of them. You can also ask Grok to talk about some of the insights that you are able to get. So you don't have to do anything from scratch, right? It's 2025. Let's try to leverage ChatGPT's capabilities to do these kind of things. So let's say I'm going to do this. So you can see the top 10 states by revenue, and we can see the top 10 states by order count, and this is how it looks like. Now again, there are many other things that can be done, which is mentioned here. What I'll do is I already have done this end-to-end EDA that I will be sharing this file with you so that you can go through it. Let me just quickly show you the different things that are done here, right? Let's directly jump into the analysis part. I'll just quickly open the analysis part and I will scroll down to, yeah, you can see unit price distribution per product. This is what we have also done here, right? Unit price distribution for top 10 products, but here we have done for each product, and you can see insights product 18, 8, 17, 27, 20 and 28 show high demand revenue spikes. well above their upper whiskers, likely due to bulk orders. And then we have done some top 10 states by revenue analysis. You can see California sits on top, Illinois sits second, Florida, Texas, New York, and by orders. And this is what we have already done here using the help of ChatGPT. And finally, we have average profit margin by channel. And you can see, I mean, don't look at these numbers because there is a minute mistake in this particular Python notebook. But yeah, I mean, you will be seeing something like this. Let's say we will try to copy this directly here and try to run this. Yeah, you can see the profit margin is 37%. As I told you, there is minute mistake here. Before we send out this document to you, you will be able to see the latest changes. I mean, we have done some calculation mistake here. Anyways, this is how the average profit margin by channel looks like for export, distributor, and wholesale. It's almost same, right? Very similar average profit margins. And then going ahead, top and bottom 10 customers. Let's say I will copy paste it, and here you will be able to get, you can see top 10 customers by revenue is 𝐎𝐭𝐽𝐬 company, state limited, and bottom 10 customers, you can see these are the bottom 10 customers, BB17. So yeah, the insight could be 𝐎𝐭𝐽𝐬 company tops the list with around 12.5 million, followed closely by state limited, while the others bottom are like BB17 with around 4 million, and so on, right? Johnson's Limited, Zoom Dog, these are the bottom 10, which ranges between the range of 4 to 5 million total revenue. Going ahead, customer segmentation is also done here. Let me just copy paste it. And what do you get from this graph? Let's try to get it to our Miro board. It's getting restored. In the meanwhile, look at this graph and what do you think? What are the insights? You can see that if you try to cluster it, I mean, this could be like one cluster, this could be like one cluster, this could be like one cluster, or this could be like one cluster, right? So it could be like 3 or 4 clusters. But if you look at these data points, anything on the right side, right? You can call it as customers with greater than 10 million US dollars revenue, average profit margin. These customers have like strong margins, right? Their margins are a bit stronger. And then you can see some of the customers here between 6 to 8, these have highest profit margins, some of them, not all, right? So yeah, I mean, this is how it is, customer segmentation. And then going forward, we can also do like a correlation heat map. I will show you correlation heat map. Something is wrong. Quantity and cost. Quantity, cost, order quantity, and then cost should be cost, total cost, revenue, profit. Yeah, this is how my correlation matrix looks like, right? Now you can see that unit price and revenue, profit and revenue. Let me just take it to my board here. Right now, if you look at these numbers, right, revenue and profit, very highly correlated. right? And similarly, unit price and revenue, very highly correlated. And unit price versus profit, also high correlation. Revenue, total cost, right? Most of them are high correlation. Profit with respect to total cost is not high, and order quantities correlation with others are not highly correlated, right? So this is how it is. Now if you talk about the key insights, whatever you have done so far, you can extract all the key insights and write it down, and based on those key insights you can take it ahead and try to work on your Power BI dashboard, right? So what could be our key insights so far? We can write down our key insights from our channel distribution, right? That 54% belongs to wholesale, and 31% belongs to distribution, and rest 15% belongs to exports, and so on. And then from your monthly revenue cycle, we can also identify that May peaks at how much, X million dollars. You can note down the number. Similar to that, what are the top 10 products based on revenue, and bottom 10 products based on revenue, and so on, right? You have done a lot of graphs. You can extract all of these insights, and we are going to use these insights for building our Power BI dashboard. Moving on to the Power BI dashboard. Now this is going to be your final output of this project. Now this is from my side. We will be doing a quick walkthrough our Power BI dashboard on how we have created this dashboard, what KPIs did we use, what graphs did we use, etc., etc. In case you have a different design in your mind, you can always do that, because the most important part is analysis, which we will be doing in Python, and we will be taking those analysis outputs to create this Power BI dashboard, right? Now looking at this Power BI dashboard, we have created three major sections. One of them is executive overview and trends, where you will be able to see some time series graphs, which basically talks about your monthly revenue graph and the profit graph, and some order value spectrum and unit price versus profit margin. Apart from that, in case you have any more KPIs to show, either if you want to implement drill throughs, tooltips, or you want to extend this into another page, always feel free to do that, right? Because as part of this project, I'm going to show you a dashboard. I'm going to show you how to prepare this one. Your task is not to copy paste this project. Your task should be creating a better version of it, right? That's what the portfolio project is all about, right? Moving on to the next part, which is product and channel performance. Now this is how the graph will look like. And finally, we have some demographic and customer insights. Top 5 customers, bottom 5 customers, blah blah blah, profit margin, bottom 5 states by revenue, etc., etc. Now, as I told you, this is like a draft version that we have created. In case you are looking out for a better version, always take this project to the next level. If you want to do some fancy items like a side menu bar or like a home page to this website, you can always do that by clicking here and then just creating a simple background like this, and then you can have multiple buttons with showing a header like this is a regional sales summary dashboard with couple of buttons here for navigation. So creativity part, I will leave it to you. There are multiple ways to showcase your understanding on Power BI in your report, right? Some people choose the easier way, just using the graphical representation and whatever KPIs they are aware of. Some people take it to the next level by implementing things that they have studied, like tooltips, drill throughs, page navigations, etc., etc., right? So moving on to the next part. Hi, let's move on to the next part of building a Power BI dashboard. So the Power BI dashboard is already built, because if I do everything from scratch, probably this video will be exploded to 3 to 4 hours because a lot of things has been done. So I will not creating anything from scratch, but I will help you understand on how I created this. Okay, so I might be I might be going to repeat few things that I might have repeated in other videos. So whenever you are working on a Power BI project, or in simple terms, whenever you are working on a data analytics project, right? Let's say you started working on your data set, you cleaned your data, you performed EDA, and once your EDA is shown to different team members like your stakeholders or your manager or your client, whoever they are, once they are happy with all your insights, your potential next step is to build a dashboard, right? Now, while building a dashboard, first try to understand who is going to use this dashboard, right? The answer is very simple. If you are working for a client, then the client will be using this dashboard, or the client's business analysts will be using the dashboard, right? So you have to think from that point of view, that eventually you are creating this dashboard not for yourself but for your client. So there are certain things that you should always remember, that you should not create based on what colors you like. Always have interview sessions with your client. So we go for client interviews, and when I say client interviews, it basically means that we need to talk to their business stakeholders. For example, let's say we'll take example. Okay, now let's say I'm working for a consulting firm. Okay, I'm just giving an example. I'm working for a consulting firm, let's say Infosys, right? One of our client is a banking client. Let's take an example of anything. Let's say Standard Chartered Bank, right? Now what I need to do is so Infosys has multiple data members, right? Data scientist, data analyst, business analyst, and let's say this is you, right? So what you need to do is, you along with your different seniors, you will be going and meeting the client. Now, in the client meeting, what you need to do is, you need to pitch all these EDA insights, and then you need to pitch some design. Now, always make sure that you use their company design standards. Standard Chartered might already have a set of design standards. So, I mean, of course, every company has that. So the very first thing that you can do is just ask the customer, sir, can you provide us your design standards, your font styles, your font selections, your color grades, palettes, etc., etc. And that is where the UX designer in your team needs to start working on the design templates. In some cases, if your company does not have a UX designer, then eventually it will be done by the Power BI developer or the BI analyst or the data analyst. But the idea is very simple, right? Whenever you get all the details from the client, and you as an analyst, you know how your dashboard should look like, you sit with the UX designer and try to create some templates, and then you start creating multiple pages. So, and then you show this to the client. These are just designs, maybe based on Figma or Miro or whatever tool you are using, or Canva. Simply you can show some Canva designs and tell the client that this is what we are aiming for. Our final Power BI dashboard will have like 4 pages. One will be like a home page. Then we will have a page 1 for, let's say, demographic details, page 2 for some other details, page 3 for some other details, and finally we will have page 4. And this is how things are going to look like. So that's basically your thought process while working on a Power BI project or a Tableau project. So client interviews, you have to talk to the stakeholders and take their inputs, that this is what we are planning for, these are the KPIs that we want to show, do you accept it or do you have more changes to it? I can give you an example of my previous one of my previous projects. I was working with a retail project and I also did the same thing. In my team I had a UX designer at a velocity of 25%, like a 1/4 man day per day kind of efforts. So weekly he was just working for 1/2 day, and in that 1/2 day my major task was to ask him to go for interviews with the CEO and the stakeholders and understand what they want in the dashboard. We have some ideas, we give them the ideas, and then they have to tell us back, no, this is fine, we need to add these KPIs, is it possible? Then we have a discussion with them, yes it is possible, then we start working on the dashboard, right? So very, very important, client interviews and stakeholders. Color palettes, always use spelling of palette should be okay, color palettes of clients, always use the client's color palette, right? And then whenever you are working on a dashboard, make sure that you envision it in a way that it has to be like an automated dashboard. Your client needs it to be refreshed every day before 9 a.m. So always have those kind of thought processes in your mind so that you can think that what should be the right way of taking the data to the Power BI dashboard so that I can build it, right? Visually, dashboard creation, visual impact is more, I understand, but technical impact is also important, right? As part of this project, we are going to take an Excel file as an input to the Power BI, but in some cases you might have to use a lakehouse, you might have to use something else like a data flow. So always have that kind of thought process, right? End-to-end thought process, okay? And always start with I would say sketches. Always start with sketches, take approvals from client and proceed. Because if you start working on the dashboard on day one and then they say, oh, this is not what we wanted, we want to do changes like this, it will be a headache, right? You again have to start everything from scratch. So for this particular project, what I have in my mind is I will be having like 3 pages and the Power BI dashboard is already ready, right? So let's go ahead and start working on the background. So whenever you start working on a Power BI project, my recommendation is to start working on the background image first. Even before that, if you can spend some time on pen and paper, you can actually first design your dashboard, that this is what I think my dashboard should have, like a heading. Let's say this is a regional sales dashboard, and then I can have like some sort of image here. I don't know what kind of image, some sort of image here with some buttons here to navigate, right? This is how my home page will look like. My second page will look like this. Let's say I will have my menu either on the left hand side. Let's say my menu item 1, menu item 2, menu item 3, and then here on the top maybe I can have some filters, and here maybe I can have some KPIs like what is the profit, revenue, blah blah blah, and some graphs here. Either you can do this, or instead of this you can also have something like this. Let's say my menu on top, let's say button 1, button 2 and button 3. I can have like a slicer reset or like a slicer, and then here I can have some boxes to show my important KPIs and then some charts. Okay, this could be my page 1, and I can replicate that for page 2, page 3, and page 4, right? So this is how you can also start working on the sketch, and you can potentially tell the customers, the clients, that, oh, this is where I am planning to add like a simple line chart, which is like a monthly revenue time series chart. Here it could be like a profit chart, this could be like a bar chart on something, this could be like your total revenue, total sales, total cost, total orders, revenue per order, blah blah blah. This could be like navigation to different pages, right? In the filter, what I'll do is, on click, I will have a pop-up. Sorry, we cannot have it here. On click, we can have a pop-up, and it could have multiple options. Maybe I'll just show you what I have done here. A pop-up shows the year, order month name, US region, and many other things, right? So this is how we have also used this, right? So first step, do these kind of sketches, and then second step, get approval from the client, and third step, start with the prototype. So prototypes, to get started with prototype, I personally use Canva as a tool where I can create my background image, but personally you can use whatever you feel like, right? I don't want to promote any kind of tool, so it's your choice. Let's say I'll start from scratch, and let's say I want to have like let's say I'll keep it white background. Let's say I'll have this black, and um, let's say I will have some boxes, and let's search for some shapes and graphics. This is fine. This is fine, but I don't want black. Maybe I'll try to have it white, but I want some border. Let's say the stroke could be like this, or you want to animate, you can have some sort of animation, not animation. In fact, I need to edit it, not animation. Do we have an option to add some sort of uh, opacity? Not opacity. I want to add like what do you call, shadow, like a shadow. Da, 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 da. I'm very bad at editing. Um, Design. Okay, no problem. I mean, I don't want to make this like yeah. This looks good. This looks good. This looks good. So let's have like 5 boxes. We discussed something, right? I already forgot. Uh, Total cost, total revenue, total cost, total revenue. Let's write it down. Okay, total revenue, total profit. Profit margin was also there. Profit margin, like a percentage of profit, right, per category. Number of orders, and then the last could be revenue per order, something like that, right? So 5 boxes. So let's have 5 boxes. Let's have equal distance so that it looks in sync, looks good. If you feel it should move a little bit towards right, this is fine. Now let's say I want to have, okay, Okay, this is pretty much it. And here, and here I can add like a filter, shape, graphics, cone, slicer. Yeah, I mean, pretty much you can use something like this. This can be used here. And then if you want to take this background, you can take this background and then get started with clear. Let's say we will also have a clear like a broom or something, not exactly like this. Okay, should be okay, because I'm just showing you some ideas, right? It's not like the final thing that we are planning for. So let's say these are my two different icons that I'm planning to add, and let's say this is my page one, right? In fact, this is my page two. I will also try to create a page one. Let's say I want to duplicate it. Let's say I will have 4 to 5 buttons, and let's say I will be adding some images here. Uh, Sales image, photos. Looks gross, right? Let's take some graphics. Sales analysis. Yeah, this looks fine. And let's say here I will be adding like a text where I will write down regional sales dashboard. I'll make it white because the background is black. Make it short, and then that comes here. Okay, see, honestly speaking, working on such dashboards can be very, very time consuming, right? So you have to hold your patience and you have to, you know, give some efforts here. I mean, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to complete a dashboard drawings or these kind of designs in less than couple of minutes, right? So I'm just taking some random things, but you always have to think wisely on how good looking your dashboard can be, right? So let's say this is my first page. Let's say overview page. This can be your um, product channel performance. 20 should be okay. Okay, this looks fine. Okay, overview, and then I will just copy paste this and then make, so the third one will be your, let's say, geographic insights, and the last one could be your Q&A, something like that. Right, now let's try to download this as well. Download png, page number, both the page numbers, and download. So page number 1, this is my first page and this is my second page. I have downloaded the zip. Let me just extract it, extracted, and then I'm going to go to my Power BI dashboard. I'm just randomly creating a new page, okay? And here I will create my canvas background, which is my page 1 and this one. Okay, everything remains the same, transparency changes to this one. And then here you can quickly add like a new insert a new shape or like a new button. Let's say I will add a blank button here. That's it. And in this button I'm going to change the shape. Basically I'm going to change the outline of it. Border is not needed, icon is not needed. That's it. And then here I'm going to change the action to let's say my executive overview, right? So page navigation, destination, executive overview, and I will drag it here. So this is my home page, right? Similarly I will do it for maybe I'll just create a new button. I hope you understood, right? Action, change it to page navigation, and change the destination, and just go to the style, turn off your icon and border. Now what basically means is if you click, you are navigating to this page, and if you click here, you're navigating to this page, right? So this is my home page, and of course let's try to delete all of this. Actually, let's try to create a new Power BI dashboard. As a deliverable to this project, we will be giving you the final dashboard, but let's get started from a blank report so that we can have something to get started with, right? So I will do the same thing again. I'm just going to the canvas background and adding page 1, page 2, and then transparency changing to this one. Done. And here I will be adding like a not this one, I'm going to insert a button and then add a button, and in this button I'm going to change the style to turn off the border, right? And the action I will turn on. As I don't have any other page, let's say here I'm going to create a new page on executive overview, and here page 1, I go here, action, change it to page navigation, executive overview. Now if you click here, you are navigating to this page, right? Cool. So here I will name it as home, right? Now if you don't like this kind of dashboard, you want to do some changes, as I told you, go back to Canva and try to be as creative as possible, right? Let's say instead of a white background you want something else, or you want to add like a image or something, feel free, right? Sales analysis image, if you want to add, you can add an image to it. And then if you want to change the transparency, you can change it. Looks like this. Doesn't look that bad, right? You want to have more transparent, you can have like this. So it's basically your call. So let's say I'm going to remove everything and I'm going to add this one. Okay, and then I'm going to make it like transparent like 15, and then I'm going to add back everything. Now here, if you want to change this to any other color, feel free to change based on your company coloring palettes, right? If your company is more towards bluish, you can have it bluish. It's up to you, it's your call. So now let's say if I am going to download this, PNG, I just want page number 2, done, download, and go back to Power BI, go back to Canvas, change it to page 2. Yeah, here we have, right? Same, right? So creativity is up to you. I'm just showing you ideas on how to work on the background images, right? Now going back to executive overview, I'm doing the same thing. I'm going to add the canvas background. I'll go to this page and I'm going to add this, right? Making it 0% transparency. Now this is what my second page looks like. Right now I don't have the data. Let me go back to the folder which I'm going to share you at the end of this project. Now as part of the EDA, what we did was we created this sales data, right? Now we have created another version of sales data just by adding 2 columns to it, which is order month name and order month number. Okay, so this is like a data transformation that we have done on the data source level. We already had the month, we have just extracted the month. You can see we have extracted the month number and the corresponding value of it. 1 means January, 2 means February, and so on. So we will be using this pre-processed data in my Power BI. So let's go to home page, get data, click on more, Excel workbook. Oh, sorry. We need to go to CSV. So the data is here, load it. If you want to do some transformation, you can transform it. Go to Power Query Editor and transform it. But as a recommendation, we should not do a lot of transformations on Power BI level. Transformation should be done before Power BI. Okay, minor transformations are fine, but major transformations should be done way before the Power BI dashboard. Okay, so this is done. Now let's try to show some of the things here. Let's say I want to get started with let's say I want to get started with a blank card here, and let's say here I want to print the total revenue, right? So total revenue is not available here, or we have revenue. We can add the sum of revenue, which will be it's showing us 1.24 billion. Let's say you want to change the display units to billions and decimal places to 1 decimals, it will show only 1 decimal, right? Now as this is done, if you want to change the text font, let's say 40 or something, and then category level you can turn off. Now what you can see is you can also turn off the background and various other things. Now this is your final number, right? Now you have realized that the text is missing, right? Total revenue. Either you can directly add a text box here, or in case you are a little bit worried that this font does not go with my background image, you can always do the same on Canva level as well, right? Let's say you want to check the same style, right? I mean, some people have that kind of requirement. So let's say you want to have something like this, 15 total revenue, go here, add it, 14, and total revenue is added. Similar to this, you can also add few others. You can make it total profit, and you can have profit margin, then profit margin P should be capital, profit margin, and then what was the fourth one? Total number of orders, right? And then the last one should be revenue per order. This goes beyond RPO. Okay, and then I will download this PNG, page number 1, done, download, go back to Power BI. I will delete this and then go back to my visuals, Canva, change it to my new file, which is this one, and done. See, simple. So it's always better, right? I have also not added these headings, which we will do it very shortly. Now you can copy paste these and then change your fields here. Let's say profit, your total profit is coming here, 0.5 billion, or if you want to change it, let's say you want to change it, because 0.5 billion is some millions, right? 400 or 500 million, because it is rounding it up. Maybe I'll change it to millions, and I want 0 decimals or maybe 1 decimals. I want to make it short. 32 looks like 30 is looking good, so let's make 30 for here also. Done. And then I will do the same for profit margin, same for total number of orders, same for my revenue per order. Total number of orders, we can easily get it directly from the order number, the total count. Maybe I can change the call out value to be thousands maybe. Okay, this is good. Profit margin, uh, we don't have like a specific measure for profit margin. So what I can do is I can quickly create a new measure. Okay, always remember the thing that I have taught you in Power BI, which is whenever you are creating measures, always create it under a new query. Okay, just create a new blank query. Let's say I will name it as measures, or let's say I will name it as custom measures. Okay, and close and apply. And in my custom measures, I will be creating a new measure. So here, let's say I'm creating total revenue is done, total sales is done, profit margin, let's say percentage, is nothing but I'm going to use a divide operation on, okay, total profit is also not there, sum of profit, sum of profit, comma, sum of revenue, comma, 0 bracket. Now this should give me profit margin. Once that is done, I will just remove this and add this. Call out value, none. Shows me 0.4, which should be okay. Decimals, let's say 2 decimals, 0.37. I think we should multiply this with 100. And then I need to also add what do you call concat this with space or percentage. This will not, cannot find percentage, right? Should work. Cannot find percentage. How do we add percentage? I think it's okay. I think it's okay. Profit margin is percentage. It's okay. Maybe I can change it here. Profit margin percentage should be okay. No problem. And the next part is the revenue per order. So how much revenue per order do we have? Again, create a new measure and make it revenue per order, which is divide again sum of revenue, sum of not sum of, total orders will be count of orders, and then this should be revenue per order. Again, I will change the call out value to be none. Revenue per order is 19,281. Let's make it thousands. Okay, 19k, right? So this is it. The second part, we will move on to the line chart. Let's say here line chart, I'm just doing a monthly revenue line chart. So let's say I'm just creating a line chart here, and I'm going to add revenue in my y axis. In my x axis, I will have month name. So let's say order month name in my x axis and revenue in my y axis. January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. Yeah, this is it. In case you are not able to see this, what you need to do is you just need to go to the order month name and just try to sort it based on order month number. Okay, because we already have the order month number. So if you sort it out, you will be able to get something like this. January, February. Which one is this one? Sum of revenue. 1 second. Apply filters, order month name. Okay, some of them don't have the records, which is weird. Let me just check that. Why they don't have. This should have been solved in the. Oh, that's because we are only talking about 2017, right? Okay, going back to the original data, right? If you remember, there was only 2017 records, right? If I go back to the original file, which is my regional sales data set. So we only had 2017 budgets, right? That's why some of these records, which is non 2017, are basically not having these values, which is fine because we are only taking 2017 data. Coming back to Power BI, so yeah, this is how the graph will be. You can keep it this way, or you can go to your formatting window and turn off your header icons and title, whatever you want to turn off, you can turn off. And then if you want an explicit title, you can go back to your Canva and just add an explicit title. Okay, let's say revenue per month or whatever it is, right? And then that will come here. Similar to that, you can see you can solve out these kind of small problems. These small problems are, you can see in your y-axis it shows some sum of reven and then dot dot dot. All these things are fixable directly in the formatting window. Go to visuals, y-axis, title, no need, values, yeah, we need, and that's it, right? And if you go to the x-axis, make it small, now it fits, you're able to see everything, right? So that's basically your first graph. Now if you want to make it more fancier, there are ways to beautify this. I'm not going to teach that, so you can put some efforts there. And similar to this, you can also do your profit. Instead of revenue, you can just take the profit. Where is the profit? Just profit, that's it, and it will give you a quick profit outlook. Similar to that, you can also add few more graphs here, and you can just repeat what I just told you. That exactly is how you start working on a Power BI dashboard. I'll quickly jump into the actual dashboard that we have built so that we can quickly go through it. And once you look at the final dashboard, you should be able to have a better understanding on how the dashboard looks like and what are the things that has been incorporated here. So this is how the final Power BI dashboard looks like. You can always take this file, play around with it and see what has been done. And you can see there are three different pages, major pages, and all of these are nothing but page navigations that we have used. And you can see number 1, number 2, number 3, right? As you are on the first page, for this one there is no action. For this one there is an action of page navigation to go to the product and channel performance. Similarly, for geography and customer insights, you have this navigation to this page. If you go to product and channel performance, similarly this page, this one will be disabled action and others will have some action, and same is with the third page, right? Moving on to the next big thing, this is the filter that we have used. If you control click, you will have multiple things here, right? You have year filter, you have order number filter, whatever, right? One thing that I would like to apologize is, in the last video I told you that some of the records does not have this thing, right? What do you call, the order month name and order month number is empty. It's not because of 2017 budgets, it's because we have data from 2014 till 2017. On top of that, we also have 2 months more data, which is 2018 January and February. So as these are like outliers, or you can consider it as not important data because it's incomplete, so we are not using 2018 data, right? So we are only using 2014 till 2017. So if you click on 2018, you will not see any graph, but yes, numbers and all will be visible, but graphs will not be visible because we don't have the month name and the month thing, right? If you want to explicitly add, there is no problem. You just have to go to this pre-processed and add the month names, right? So if you add these month names using your Excel functions and refresh your data set, you are good, right? Now for example, if you want to add, let's say January month number 1, I just did one, right? And I'm saving it, pre-processed this one, and then I will just refresh. Could not find the path. Oh, this is where we need to change the file path. No problem, we'll go here and then regional sales here and then change it to this one and then change this file name to this one. Okay, done and done. Close and apply. Now I should be able to see something here. View errors. What are the errors that we got? Oh, and that's because of some of the records are empty. Yeah, you can ignore them. It's okay. Year is not visible right now. 2018 is still not visible. Why it is not visible? We have added it. It's okay. Let's just ignore it for now, and we'll come back to this one later. It should not be a big problem. It's just maybe I messed up with the data that I'm using directly in Power BI. Anyways, as part of deliverable, you will get all the files. You can have a look at it. Jumping back to what I was talking about is, yes, the filter section is here. You can control click to close it, and you can choose whatever filters you want to choose. We have filters based on month name, year, US region, channel. This is creativity. If you want to add it somewhere on the right hand side of this dashboard, you can do it. So these are the 5 different major KPIs or major numbers, and you can see everything is created here. This is your total revenue, which is nothing but the sum of total revenue, sum of total profit, count of the total number of order numbers, similarly top state revenue, total revenue, and then you have the filter, stop state revenue by revenue. These are the different measures. You can have a look at it based on these graphs. If you look at this graph, this is nothing but the order month name with respect to total revenue. Similarly, this one is order month name with respect to total profit. This is your order value with respect to the count of the order numbers. If you look at this one, we have just summarized the sales data with respect to the order number. I have taken the sum of the revenue, right? And we have created the bins out of it. Now, this one also can be done on the data source level, but you can also do it on the Power BI level using DAX, right? Going to the second page here, it's very simple to understand. If you just click on these graphs, you will be able to see what has been used. It's nothing but a product name versus a total revenue. This one is your product name versus total profit margin. This one is your total revenue with respect to average profit margin, and so on, right? Beautiful project. This is a textual data that we have written down based on our insights that we have got. And here we have 2 buttons. One button is basically for the second. Yeah. So one button is your top 5 button and one button is your bottom 5 button. You can see if you click on bottom 5, you can see the action is, it's like a type of bookmark, and it is showing you the bottom 5. Okay. And similarly, if you go to top, it will show you top 5. Okay. So whatever graphs that you are using here, let's say customer by revenue and total top 5 customers by revenue, top 5 states by revenue, for all of them, this slicer will work, or this filter will work. Then we have total revenue by region, profit margin by region, total profit by state. If you want to make a very separate page specific to this map, again, it's your choice. You can have another page for that. It's completely your choice, right? So let's say you want to create a specific thing only for this map, delete all of these rest of the things that is in the background and keep only this, and you will be able to see like a map representation of where the orders are and where the total profit is, which state has more profit, and blah blah blah, right? So yeah, this is all about this end-to-end project. And one major thing is this particular thing is nothing but the clearing filter. If you click on this, you can see an action. It clears all the slicers. So whatever slicers you have pre-selected, if you click, all your slicers are reset. That's it. Now coming on to the second part, where you might be worried about how to publish it, how to do scheduled refresh when it comes to real life projects. That depends on client. Client needs to tell us whether they want daily refresh or weekly refresh or monthly refresh. Based on that, you need to sit with your data engineering team and take a call. Publishing is very simple. You might not be able to do that without a pro access, but as I already have pro access, if I publish it, I will be able to see everything on my app.powerbi.com, right? If I go to app.powerbi.com, if I go to my specific workspace, I should be able to see this dashboard. So let's say we can try that also. Let's say I will quickly switch it back to my other account. Lot of things can be done in Power BI, and you can actually do a lot of things, but it depends on how much level do you want to take your dashboard to. Usually the recommendation is do this much, do not publish and do all those kind of scheduled refresh kind of things. Those things are needs to be prepared for your interviews. When you're preparing for interviews, make sure you understand about data flows, understand about scheduled refreshes, understand about various other things. But when you're practicing a project, I think this is more than enough. Your dashboard is more than enough. So let's say I'm just taking like random sales workspace, publish it, and if I go back to my app.powerbi.com, go to my sales repository, I should be able to see my dashboard sales report, which is published recently. Okay, if I click on my report, this is how my report looks like. Cool. Now as I don't have the fourth page, it has not taken into consideration, I can delete it. But if you want, you can add something here and it will also show you, right? So 3 buttons are visible here. This fourth page button is not visible. You can add it. I was just showing you, right? So yeah, you can delete it for now and go back and publish again so that your fourth page is also gone. So the duplicate will be gone here. So replace and successful and then refresh. Here we go. Right now, if you just want to prepare for interviews, this is where we need to do our scheduled refresh settings and row level security settings. So security RLS has moved to Power BI desktop. So in security, if you want to do some changes, go to modeling, and this is where you do some changes. Manage roles, you can create a role, add it. This is what the RLS is all about. And then if you want to do like scheduled refresh, go to the semantic model, go to the settings, and this is where the refresh settings will be. Now it is not visible to us because I don't have the gateway setups and all those things. You can see, right? Configure refresh schedule, you need to turn on. Okay, let's not get into this, but theoretically just be prepared for these kind of things before you go for interviews. That's all about this particular project. It has been really in depth, I believe, and I hope you enjoyed this. And the deliverables will be provided to you so that you can go through it. In case you have any questions, you can raise a question, and we will be. Oh, why it's not enabled? Oh, this is not enabled because it's a organization setting, right? How to enable this? To fix this, ask your tenant admin. Okay, pretty much map and field map visuals. We can take help of Grok. It's a minute setting on the app.powerbi side. Do not worry about it. Map is disabled in app.powerbi.com. How to enable it? I had enabled it. I forgot how to do that. Pretty much, I think here, if you go to the options or something, let's say here settings, general settings, admin portal, and then settings, admin portal. This one. Arcus. I think this one. And then if I go back to my repository, sales report, still not active. To fix this, ask your tenant admin to enable map and I'm pretty much sure this is a configuration. I have done that in my previous organization, but I don't remember how to do that. It says to go to the admin portal. We are already in the admin portal, and then tenant settings integration, tenant settings integrations. Where is integration? Integration settings. Yeah, this one. Argus, right? Find map and filled map. This is disabled. Just enable it. Apply. Done. Will be applied within the next 15 minutes. Sales. I think it should be applied. Yeah, it will be applied. You already saw, right? That's all about it. We will be sending you everything to you, so enjoy. In case you have any questions, you can raise a question, and we will be able to help you out.